Good Tuesday afternoon, YouTube. It is scorching hot outside. The cicadas are screaming. I have a fine mist covering my face and body. So it's summer officially. I've got my water, I've got my cool tech, I've whatever, but it's hot. It's hot. So I might be taking sips throughout this video. Anyway, today's video is going to be about the Tokyo post-arrival orientation for the JET program. Unlike my packing video that I just made, this isn't going to be a sit and watch it with me. So I will be covering my previous video that I've made, but if you want to get the full extent of it, go back and watch that whenever you want. I'll put a link in the description below, so it'll probably be at the end as well of this video. So don't worry too much about watching that video. You probably have already seen it because it's like by far my most popular video. Anyway, I'm going to talk about 4 things today. Number 1, I'm going to talk about the schedule itself. Number 2, I'm going to talk about what happens outside of the actual like organized schedule. Number 3, how I used my time and what I would maybe do differently or what I appreciated. And number 4, just general tips on how to survive and make the most of your time with it. It's an intense 2.5 days, but it really sets the tone for the rest of your year here. So it's important to get a good start, make connections, and enjoy yourself. And also not be too jet lagged unless you're Australian or New Zealander, then you're lucky. So, number 1, I am actually lucky enough to have an advanced copy of the schedule with me today. It's not a final version, I don't think, so like don't take what I'm saying as word of truth 100%, but I actually, exciting news, will be attending one of the Tokyo orientations this year. So I'll be at Group B, which is the second orientation group that'll go through in August. I think the dates will be the 4th, 5th, 6th of August. So if you're in Group B, I'll see you there. I'll be doing one of the team teaching workshops, so I'm so excited. I'm so excited to go back. I'll make a vlog about that too, I'm sure. Anyway, I'll jump right in. So the schedule starts out on the Sunday. It's just land in Tokyo, get to the hotel, unpack, sleep. There's nothing scheduled for that day. But starting with the Monday morning, let's see, the Monday morning, oh yeah, so the Monday breakfast is usually pretty early. I remember it was always between like 7 and 8, I think, is when breakfast is usually set around. So it's early morning, so you need to be ready. But yeah, so the Monday morning is just some like opening introduction speeches, welcome to Japan, welcome to the JET program, and then some really basic like legal information, disaster prep information, mental health. I actually talked about this in my Tokyo orientation video, my last one, about how it was a really, really well done mental health session. I don't know if they'll have the same speaker, but it was a really great session. I really enjoyed it. I didn't learn a whole lot of new stuff, but that's because I have a pretty decent background in mental health education. But I remember it being a really approachable session. So anyway, it's a lot of like, welcome to Japan, here's the JET program. And I believe most of that is done all together. So ALTs and CIRs for the most part, so the assistant language teachers and the coordinators for international relations are for the most part split up for this orientation, but for the first couple sessions, I think they are together. Anyway, from there, then it starts to get a bit more specialized. So CIRs go into like some basic skills. I think there's like some translation and interpretation stuff going on, versus for the ALTs, it's going to be more about education system in Japan. So it's getting more into like, there's still big picture, but more into the educational focus, not just living and working in Japan. In the afternoon on that Monday is when there'll be some team teaching and lesson planning workshops, and that's where yours truly will be working. I am so fortunate, like I would consider myself a decent ALT. I'm not like the greatest in the world, but I'm decent. However, through the luck of the draw of my placement, I've worked with a super teacher, so a teacher who does training for other teachers. And so because of that connection that I have, and being the only JET in town, I have the opportunity to go to Tokyo and do some demonstrations with that super teacher, which is a really, really cool opportunity. I know this is a very small portion of people in the JET program who get to do this, so I'm very fortunate for this opportunity. It's about lesson planning and team teaching, a bit of an introduction to that. And then after that, there's, I think, one last little welcome reception, which, from what I remember, is like highly encouraged but not 100% mandatory. So if you have something else going on, whatever, go ahead. And then that's it for the day. So the day wraps up, I think, around 5 is when things wrap up, and then the reception's in the evening after that. So the next day, Tuesday, is more, I think actually that's where the mental health stuff is for the CIRs, if I remember correctly. But then for the CIRs, again, it's more skill building, like event planning, interpretation, learning about your area, how to explain where you are. So the CIR job really is a mixed bag of stuff, and so I think that the orientation tries to give a sample of all the different tasks that different CIRs can do. Versus for the ALTs, it's just pretty much a straight day of like learning about teaching, learning about your grade levels. I work at the junior high and elementary level, but I attended mostly junior high sessions because that's kind of my focus of schools. You will be told where to go. Don't worry, you don't need to like pick a room. You will be told, go to this session, go to this room. So there's no stress about if you do teach multiple levels, there's no stress about having to choose which one. You'll be sent to the one where you do the most amount of teaching. Anyway, from what I remember from that one, it was some like general tips and tricks. There was a panel discussion at the end of the day, but the big bulk of the day was talking about reading, writing, listening, speaking, I believe, which are the 4 big target areas of language acquisition. So it's good that those are covered. I remember that those sessions, like, they were pretty short and snappy. So by the time you started to get jet lagged and brain fuzzy, it was over, which was great. And I also got some really great handouts from there, but more on that later. Anyway, so in the evening, there is the last thing of the day, I believe, is like a meeting with your prefecture. So your PAs, your prefectural advisors, will come and pick you up, as well as maybe some other like senpai jets, maybe. You'll have a little meeting with them. You might do get to know you stuff. You might do a, what I did was a Japanese language assessment to figure out what Japanese language course I should do once I got here, because my prefecture is wonderful and offers us some language courses, which is amazing, and I think not everyone does that or gets that, so sorry if you're not in Saga. Anyway, after that, I believe then it's just a little like closing, really small casual closing thing, and then you're off. So they also will sort out your luggage, so you'll have any luggage that you have brought with you to the hotel that you didn't send directly to your placement, that's where you will ship it off. So you'll only have a little bit of stuff with you in the morning when you get there, to your takeoff, to your send-off. Yeah, it was a bit chaotic, but I remember it was explained very detailed what I was doing, what I was taking where, when I would have all of my stuff again. So don't stress, don't panic, everything will be explained in due time. Yeah, and then the Wednesday is just breakfast and then go. So whether you're catching a flight, whether you're catching a Shinkansen, or whether you're catching a bus, or just even a regular train if you're lucky enough to be in Tokyo or the surrounding prefectures, the Wednesday is just head off. Number 2. Outside of this schedule, your evenings, you'll notice, are free. The reception on the first day is optional, highly recommended. I went, they had pretty good food actually, from what I remember. And it's good mingling time. Like there were only 2 people in my prefecture at that orientation, but me and that other guy were still friends. We actually bonded because of that. I know that some people like to use that time to catch up with their home consulate, so a lot of the Toronto Jets, we kind of hung out a little bit. That was nice. And also on the second day, so on the Tuesday night, most of the embassies will have little welcome, for the mid-sized countries, will have little welcome receptions for the jets from their country. So I know Canada had it, I went to it, it was good. It was nice to like see the Canadians and learn what I should do to keep myself safe and in touch with the Canadian government. I know the UK has it. I think Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, South Africa, I think they all have those. The US, the embassy comes to the JET program because half the jets are American. But I also do recommend that. If you've got other things going on, then you can maybe give it a miss if you've got other plans, or if you're feeling really tired and don't want to do something, because you do have to get to the embassy. But it's a really cool opportunity. Like, I don't know when I'll ever go to the Canadian Embassy in Japan ever again. In the mornings, if you want to do stuff, there's nothing really planned going on. People will make casual events, like you might hear someone in a session say, tomorrow morning we're going to do yoga, anyone want to join? That's always a great option. I went for a walk one day with one of my roommates, and that was fine. So that leads me into number 3, how I used my time. I ate my meals quickly and I went and napped for 20 minutes because the jet lag hit me hard. I used my evenings doing the pre-organized activities when they had them, and I really appreciated that because, like I said, it was really great to go to the Canadian Embassy and meet people, and it was some really good information, and I got a free beer. The first night, I got to the hotel pretty early. I was lucky. Not everyone is this lucky, but I actually made plans with a friend. I know a lot of people in the JET program have connections in Japan or around Tokyo, so I was lucky enough I could meet up with a friend, and it was a little later than expected. I think around 8:30 or so was when I was ready to get out of the hotel, but it was enough to like do a little dinner and a couple of drinks with this friend, and I really appreciated having that downtime to myself before I got thrown into the full hustle bustle of the JET program. Took care of that mental health. I mean, I was still jet lagged and on a weird schedule, so I woke up way early for breakfast and I used that time. I went to bed super early and I did that. I don't know if I'd actually do anything too differently. I might have spent more time talking to fewer people and making deeper connections, because I know I made a lot of really quick, like, I talked to the people who were sitting around me in sessions, and that was fine, but like, I don't remember any of those people except for maybe 1 or 2, versus I think if I had really made a point to engage and connect with maybe 5 or 6 people throughout the 2 days, I might have some stronger connections. Because right now, the strongest connections that I have in the JET program outside of my prefecture are from the Toronto consulate. And I love those people, they're great. But, you know, there's a lot more, there's 5,000 people in the JET program. Anyway, number 4, how to survive. Oh my God, it's gonna be hot. You're gonna be in an air-conditioned hotel most of the time, so you'll be fine. But it gets hot. As soon as you step outside, it's gonna be middle of summer, humid, 30 degrees Celsius, like gross weather. Like, if you're going outside, prepare. Don't go out in your full suit. It might be a little rainy. The typhoon season is kind of on the shoulder right there, so it might be a little rainy or windy, but it should be generally, for the most part, fine weather. Bring comfortable clothing for your downtime, and only pack really what you need to live for a couple of days. Don't be afraid to send a lot of stuff onto your placement. Like, anything that you're bringing to decorate your house, anything you're bringing that isn't immediately necessary, don't worry about bringing it to Tokyo. Like, I would advocate sending as much as possible direct to your placement. Like your omiyage, if you're gonna bring welcome presents, which you don't need to, but if you're going to, send those on. Like, if you don't need it, don't bring it to Tokyo orientation. That's all I'll stress. Eat. The food is pretty approachable if you're not used to eating Japanese or Eastern style food. The food is pretty easy. From what I remember there was like, yeah, kind of a mix of like Japanese style and Western style foods. It's a fancy hotel. They're gonna cater to an internationally minded clientele, so they know how to cater to foreigners. And then lastly, pay as much attention as you can. Obviously, it's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna be jet lagged, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be confused, maybe a little overwhelmed, maybe a little anxious or stressed. I was all of those things, and I did my best. I don't think I retained 100%, I don't think I retained 80% of what happened in those sessions, but I feel like I got a good impression from what the content they were trying to get to me was. And when I knew that something wasn't going to stick, I took a picture of the documents. You're going to get a lot of paper. They give you so much paper and so many little like documents and things. I took a lot of pictures of those and then recycled them, because honestly, you can live without them. The things that I did keep, so from the second day I had all those workshops on the 4 different learning areas. As an ALT, I still pull activities from those booklets monthly, if not weekly. So like those were really useful. The booklets that have the activities in them and things that are really, really relevant to your job on an ongoing basis. If it's general information, a picture's fine. Like for example, the Canadian Embassy gave us some handouts on how to do all these different things. I took pictures of those, put those in a Google Drive folder where I know they'll be safe, so I have them for reference. And that's honestly a better place to keep them than buried in my closet somewhere. Like I said at the beginning of this video, enjoy yourself. It's an exciting time. They really, especially on that first day, they're really trying to pump you up and get you excited about living in Japan and excited for the JET program. So drink the Kool-Aid a little. Obviously, it's always good to retain your sense of identity and your sense of self, but you're part of a really cool, big, long-lasting program. This is gonna be, I think, the 33rd year of the JET program, so this program is a really cool opportunity. And don't forget that, even when it's like 4 p.m. and your brain is telling you it's midnight or later and you just want to like be at your school and meet your kids already, that will come. You will get to your placement. I didn't really talk about the transition onto your placement because after starting with that Wednesday, things really get separate for everyone. So I'm not going to say what one person's experience is going to be like. I think I've covered enough ground for one video, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please give me a like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things that we have to do on YouTube to get known. I'm really trying to grow this channel, so appreciate you watching. I appreciate any thoughts you have to share with me. I'd love to connect with you if you're in Group B. I'm so excited to see you there. And yeah, peace, love, and happiness, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Bye.